Right, so tonight we are doing matters sinister. Well, starting with this nice gentleman from the 15th century. He is a soldier. He died in battle, so don't believe everything he says. Chapter 65. How right-handers should act against left-handers and left-handers against right-handers, which amounts to the same thing, since they are mutually equivalent, though some disparity will arise from more or less practice. So, right, that ends that. We might as well do some exercises. Right, so I will get myself in a position where you can see me. Or maybe I just move the screen. Right, as I said earlier, these are some exercises I've been trying to knock up for me as an SCA warm-up and something I can do in the morning. Same with most martial arts, you can either do them as a warm-up, which is fairly fast, or you can do them really slowly as stretches. We're going to do them sort of mid-speed and take about 15 minutes. We're starting off basically with just moving. You can't see my feet, but here they are. What you're going to do is just move your feet around, wave your ankles, wave your knees. Don't worry too much about it. All you're trying to do is just release the tension in everything. Starting at the bottom, up and down a bit. You know the old knee exercise where you wobble around, a bit of that. Nice and easy. Coming from the hips. And I said, it is easy. If you feel strained, if I'm doing something you think is really horrible, don't do it. Oh, look, the arms have joined in and the hands, isn't it nice? Oh, I will wobble the head a bit too. Yes, St. Vitus's dance, yes. Right, if you feel any tension, wobble some more. The exercise, work on a fairly simple system. You start somewhere, you move somewhere else, and you keep moving. You don't actually repeat the same thing twice. I'm going to start with the back. There are two ways to bend the back. The first way is you lock the hips, you arch the back backwards, and then you bend over at the front, trying to just drop your head down, drop, 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 grab behind the knees and give a gentle tug. And your foot should feel stretched there. That's way one. Way two, complete opposite. Stick your hips forward, you go backwards. Stick your hips backwards. You come forward, you touch your toes. Okay, so we'll do a few of those. So, bend, bend, tug, back, touch your toes. Bend, bend, back, forwards. Another one, bend, bend, back, and forwards. Nice and easy. Right. Extremes. Arms, feet. I-33 does an awful lot of stuff on the toes. Everybody says you want to go on your toes. So this exercise involves you going on your toes. Your arms are doing stuff. I'll get into a little bit more. What your arms are doing, they're going from this position here to that position there, which means your wrists are wobbling and you're going out. So what you're going to do is you're going to go up onto your toes, down into a little squat, up onto your toes, back down again. And you're going to keep doing that. So it's up, down, up, down, up, down. And it's a big expansive movement. You're trying to warm things up. And obviously, don't squat and hurt your knees. And another one just to finish off with. Down. Okay, well, that's the middle. Now we're going back to the middle. We're going all the way round. So we'll get into the middle and try to keep away from the pels. So, basic stance, all these exercises do is a horse riding stance. Your feet are hips apart. Yeah, it's this sort of karate stance. So all the kung fu movements are punching. Nice, nice and simple. Stick your arms up, go over backwards, and then just rotate. from the hip, down you go, going forwards, coming back up again, and round you go. That's 2, and 3, and you go the other way so you don't get dizzy. 1, 2, and 3. That's nice and easy. Now for the middle, we're going now for the legs. I had a knee replacement recently. I don't do too many squats, otherwise I'm definitely walking the next day. So I wanted a leg exercise, it didn't involve squatting, good old kick. What this is, if your foot comes up, this is important, that's the bent knee, it straightens, it comes up and it goes back down. That's it. It's doing this motion that I want to get without straining it. Let's do some. So it's up, out, back, down, up, out, back, down. You'll get the idea. If you do this arm exercise as well, it's a nice shield exercise. Up, back, down, up, back, down, up, back, down, and up, back, down. Okay? Arms. Some of you have seen this before. This is the thing I nicked from a Chinese martial art book by putting 2 of their exercises together. And I think it does just about every arm, wrist, elbow motion we do. I call it the magic sword because being Kung Fu, it has to have a silly name. You start, same position, hands here, elbows come in, hands come forward, thumbs go down. Got a nice wrist stretch, wrists come in, up go the shoulders, swoop down and out. You now reverse the wrists. You bring them back to here. There's the magic swords appear. Shoulders up, raise them to check they're heavy, point them at the ground, stick them back in the scabbard. Nice motion there from the chest, back to beginning. So in, out, together, swoop, pick up your swords, point, scabbard. Breathe out, in, out, in, out, whee. And one more. And it's all dramatic tension. You know, you're pushing here, and you should feel something in the arms and wrists. Okay. Back to the middle. This one's nicked from Joe Wicks. Stand position. What are you going to do is you're going to go down, left hand to right toe, look at right hand. Ba-ding, and the other way. 2, and repeat. Okay. Now, this one has been in the SCA for a long while. I think Michael Brad introduced me to it. You will not get in the picture. You're standing in your normal fighting stance, see your leg forward. Yes, I'm left-handed. And in front of you is a huge, great rock. And what are you going to do is you're going to push the rock forward until your back leg is straight. The rock is going to push you back again till your front leg is straight. So you've gone from I'd lunge too far to I'd dodge back too far. And you do it again. forward and backwards. And this time, the rock is going to move. And you're going to step forward. You go forward and step. And it goes backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. And on the third one, you step. Wow, I managed to keep in screen. Now, the rock is going to push you back again. So we're going to go for 1, 2, and this time 3, it pushes you back. And again, 1, 2, 3. And forward again, 1, 2, 3. And that's the point. Hands forward, leg lands. 1, 2, 3, and back again. 1, 2, and back. 1, 2, and back. There we go. Right, another movement exercise. This one is right at the top of the head and the ankle motion. And you can't see my feet, never mind. What you're going to do is very simple. You're standing like this, and what you're going to do is you're going to turn and face left. So look left and start moving your arms around. Now, your left leg is going to want to move. So point your left leg forward and you're coming round and, ooh, my right leg wants to move. So now I'm standing in a shield stance. Both legs are pointing forwards. I'm looking over my right shoulder with a nice twist. Come back the other way. Ooh, left leg wants to move. Right leg wants to move. Left leg wants to move. So all these movements are little ankle turns, and they're done on the ball of the foot with a tiny little lift. And they're exactly the sort of motions you want to do when you're moving. The trick is, which I'm probably not doing very well because I'm trying to talk at the same time, is not to bob up and down too much and keep these little leg movements to a minimum and keep balance. Here you go. All right, quick. Slap. Okay. I'm old. Excuse me. I have slight problems in doing, with these shots here where you go down and you flip round, you come over here and you do something fancy. This position I find quite hard. Young fit people can basically point the foot one way, go down on the knee and do some sort of exercise like that. Again, knackers me. I need something that stretches here. I use a kick again. This is not a reverse kick. You're not trying to do the hip. All it is it coming up here, you're stretching, bit of a flick, down, up, stretch, bit of a flick, down. And it's just, what's the important bit is this stretch around here. Opens you up, does a bit of balance work, and so just feel down here. Stretch and one more. Ooh. That will really help when you're trying to get to these wide stances, flip the sword in, shots. Okay. This is where you probably do want to. Oh, that's great. What we're going to do is now we're going to go sideways. This is just practicing for going in and out when we're fighting. And the obvious, easy way to go sideways, I want to go this way. I push off with this leg, and ooh, there I go. I can do it a couple of times. They want to come back, I push off with this leg, and look, back I come. And it's dead easy. You're pushing with the leg that wants to go in direction. This is how you move if you shield arm forward and speed it up a bit. Just feel it slide. Again, you're just lifting your foot. You're not going, hey, bong. Okay, the second way is a little more complicated. The second way says, oh my God, there's a great sword heading to my leg. It's got to move out the way. So I push off with this leg, which moves that out the great sword way, then push with this leg. So it's a shuffle. Do a few of that. A bit of knees bent. Okay, nice and simple. Now feet up to hands. One of the nicest, easiest way to simulate a sword blow is the karate chop. It's basically the same motion. So warming at the shoulders and other things up, let's do some karate things. Nice hip motion in 1, 2, 3, 4. Bend the knees a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a lot more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up a bit more. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're doing left-handers. We'll be talking about wraps. Wraps basically involve turning the elbow over. Karate punch. Fist this way. Elbow turns over. Do some of those. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the chin. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the groin. 1, 2, 3, 4. And check. You should have a very slight movement in the elbow. If your elbow is locked completely tight, with any sort of shot, you're going to limit your fighting career because you're going to mess your elbow and you're going to mess your shoulder. It's just, it ain't much. It's just loose. And finally, you'll all be pleased to hear, feet together, real bouncy, go boing, up, down, boing! Whee. And this one should really feel like you're exploding and not like I'm doing, trying to take the light fitting out. So, hopefully that's warmed you up a little bit. Right. We are talking about being suitable for beginners and needing a basic level. So, the most basic thing we can do is, hello, this is a sword. It's a late one, 1580s. This is the sort of thing we're thinking about. You know, when we're playing with rattan, we're actually thinking a piece of steel. It's a bit difficult to see that, so I'll use the mini version. Here we go, the baby version. Right, when I hold it at you, there's an edge pointing at you. That's the true edge. There's another edge. That's the false edge. And it's got a point. Obviously, this one hasn't, because this is a living history and you don't want dangerous things in the process of kids. It's also got a slight curve to this edge, so I can actually cut with it, as well as the more normal hacking type blows, and of course, thrust. We ain't doing cut and thrust. What am I going on about this bit? Wait and see. But that is the real basic, it's a sword. Think about that with this one. This is the true edge, it's black. If I hit it with the white edge, that's the false edge, and I haven't got a thrusting tip. We'll talk about that in a little while. So, left-handed, right-handed fighters. Stage one, Really, really important. And if you get nothing else from this little talk, apart from this, we've achieved something. When you come on the field, look at your opponent. If you don't spot, I've got this in the opposite hand to you, you're going to be at a huge disadvantage, and I'm going to love it. So yes, check. If you're in the middle of a melee, somebody pops out from behind the shield wall, look which hand it's in. Simple. Right, number one tip. So, what is all the big fuss? Okay. Another bit of paper. Hopefully you've seen this before. This is Sagan's combat breakdown. And it's telling you all the things you should do, offensive and defensive, to fight successfully. So, left-handed to right-handed. What is the difference? We just heard Pedro basically say that anything a left hand can do, a right-hander can do. So don't worry about that. What the difference is basically, offensively, it's target recognition and it's blow selection. And it's, when you get to defense, it's pretty much the reverse. It's blow recognition and it's defense selection. Why is it so different? It's very, very simple. If I pick up my sword and my shield, and I stand in front of you, what's happening? Okay, this is Fred. Fred is my friendly pal. As you notice, Fred has got a sword. It's sticking out here. The difference here is Fred's sword and my sword are on the same side. This makes a lot of, offensively, it makes a difference. Also, our shields are on the same side. Now, big point to note about it, this basically means that if I'm a right-handed fighter, my shield is on the right side to block Fred's sword. Great! That shield's on the right side to block my shots. Left-handed, oh look, it isn't. Big change. Now, if I stand, as I normally do, against a left-handed fighter, what is going to happen? I face you. Hello, Mr. Left-handed fighter. Nice, normal fighting guard. Oh, look. There's a big gap right down my side, isn't there? Isn't it lovely? Look here. Where's your sword? It's coming in here. Yep, I have to do something because I am open to any shot that you would normally throw. Anything around the body, on the leg, I'm open. There are several things you can do. You're probably going to do all of them. The first one you can do is just simply take your back foot and move it around a bit. And though it disappears. Or more simply, you can just twist your body a bit. What you can't do is you have spent ages training your shield to block blows. It's automatic. What you can't tell it to do is hang around more over here to block stuff. Your automatics will fail, you'll open up, you'll get a nice rack shot coming in. So this is so much simpler, just move the leg, move the body. But you have to do it, you have to remember. Now, other problem. We might as well just try that. Just have a little experiment, stand there, look at me, I'm the man, I'm firing shots at your side, nice rack shots coming in. Just try experimenting, moving that back leg round a bit, twisting your body slightly, see how it affects how your shield movement works. And then try moving in this way. It's no good if you put your back leg back there and then step out. Hey, look, That's really great, isn't it? Look at all this lovely side to hit with a sword. What you've got to do when you do the side step, you've still got to remember to keep that twist in. Let's have a try. And moving forwards is quite easy. Moving backwards. You want to do a compass movement. Hey, look. That's not good, is it? Yes, it is. It's fine. I just feel over it. It's just a different way of thinking and adapting. Okay. That's the defence. That's very simple. One more thing to say about defence, with a little exercise with it. When we started doing this fighting, we went to the Australian War and the lasses came back with the Iron Rose book. The Iron Rose basically says, lasses fight better with the sword leg forward. And all the lasses stood like this, and I went, oh, thank you, thank you. And the question was, why was I taking their leg and they weren't taking mine? It turns out it wasn't what you'd think. It was actually the way I was moving. So we're going to do a nice little exercise now. In fact, it's not an exercise, it's an anti-exercise. You've all been doing lots of exercises which basically involve standing in front of your pals, I'm going to flip around a bit. And you've been doing headshot, headshot, opposite side head. Or you've been doing a drill where you go, I would move to this point of the compass, I fire my shot, I move back again. You are controlling the movement. What I want you to do now is just enjoy yourself. This is a sword. This sword is going to make you move. Don't worry too much. Okay, Fred's shield off. Just do a little bit of movement. But all I want you to do is, the sword comes here, whoa, it's coming back. So I go over here, it's over there now, ooh, that's nice. Ooh. Just have a go. Free flow. What's driving all your leg movements is the fact the sword is bouncing. Doesn't matter how it bounces, ooh, that's there. Okay, so what I was doing was exactly that. If I stand with this leg always forward, or with this leg always forward, I'm presenting a target. If I do this sort of movement, it's not so much of a target. It's simply flowing, keeping moving. If this is presenting a target, this is really presenting a target to an opposite-handed fighter. So you want to go into this position and move out. Okay? You don't want to do that. You actually want to hang around in position. Here's a nice big shield. My old double weight shield. It's also flat so you can see it easier. So you don't want to do that. You actually want to stay in position. So, here's your target. Nice leg. What you do is you come forward and you lean very slightly. So you're now 60-40 on the front leg, not the back leg. And you lend it over a little bit. You cut off the shot that's coming in from here. This is actually, yeah, I've actually deliberately gone slightly off balance, and I've also cabled the shield slightly. What this does is means I can stay here with a big shield like this. It won't work with a buckler. It allows me to actually use this guard, end of the shield wall. Now, the obvious thing to say is, Paul, you're an idiot. You put all your weight on your front foot, you can't move. A free flow exercise. If I'm generating momentum by flicking this thing forward, there we are, I'm right on that front foot. Out it comes, that nice momentum drags me forward. Yep, I can move. So have a try at that. Yes. Cank yourself over. Sorry to anyone who's got a buckler, we'll talk about that in a minute. And let's try using this process of the sword generating motion to get you to move. Works on the other foot as well. Forward and backwards. Right, so we'll move on to bucklers. You can use exactly the same principle. Oh, look, my leg is forward. You're going to fire a leg shot at me. Exactly the same action. The sword arm pushes the leg back. Quickest way to move the leg out of the way. Also discourages people hitting you because the sword comes straight at their head. Whomp. Whomp. Same with this leg. You want to get it out of the way. Yay. So, have a go at that. They are special for people with bucklers. Okay, how are people doing? Give us a wave if you're happy with how things are going. Excellent. Right. So, unusually, we've done a lot on defence. On to offence. Right. So, what I want you to do now is really, really simple. Here is a Pell. I just want you to do the first part of the Pell exercise. This is the way I was taught it. Basically, you fire a shot at point number 1, which is the top. That's point number 2. That's point number 3. And the sequence goes 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. Okay? Okay, let's do that. Okay, everybody happy? Now, the big question. How many people threw the 1-1 shot using 2 different shots? How many people threw anything there with the reverse side of the blade? Not seeing much wobbling. Okay, so this is the difference with a left-hander. Your shots selection is different because your targets are different. Right, the ultimate. Right, we put Fred's shield on. The ultimate example of this is, whoops, me dropping the shield on the floor. I am right-handed. This is Fred. Fred is right-handed. I'm going to fire a moulinet at it. Basically, it's a shot that goes down and then comes inside the shield. Lovely shot for a right-hander to fire at another right-hander. I am a left-hander. I fire a moulinet. There is no target. Well, when inside here, hits the shield. That's the ultimate example I could think of your target selection has been voided because you're the wrong way round. So what have you got? You've got loads of lovely stuff all the way down this side. So have they. So, yes, that blow is possible. Except if there's a sword coming the opposite direction. Not good. So if I was doing this exercise, I practiced 1. The second one I would fire as a backhand. I'd then go backhand to the head, backhand to the body, take it by the forehand to the head, and then I'd probably just straight drop it. Nice target selections. So, We're going to do the exercise now slightly differently. We're going to fight Fred here. We're going to fire the first 3 blows of a combination. Problem is, if I fire this blow, round about here, I'm going to collide with Fred's sword. It's either going to hit me in the hand, which hurts, it's going to hit me on the thing and on my hand, which is also painful, or it's just going to bounce uselessly. It's basically, this is a very, very naff start when you're fighting someone of the opposite hand. So, let's have a quick session, 3-blow combo, couple of minutes, come up with a nice 3-blow starting combo for fighting me. Remember, my sword's the same size as yours. Let's see what people come up with. Oh, Yannick has managed to destroy his pals. That's obviously a good combo. Nice one. Right, everybody happy? Okay, so obviously one thing you can do, and one thing you'll get from me, and any other left-handed fighter, is you can attack the side of the face. There's a very nice blow for this. I haven't got a thrusting tip. I'll explain that in a minute. We were talking about cutting blows. I'm going to do a cutting blow with the tip of my sword. Yeah, one of the reasons I haven't got a thrusting tip. And all it is a very fast little snap out here. It's targeting the face grill. And if you're looking at me, and I'm standing in this guard, there's a slot between where my sword is, at the top of my shield, and my face. That's where you're targeting. Slap on my nose. Okay, have a go at that shot. It's a standing joke. People left, right, who play regularly, basically line up against each other, go plonk to each other, have a quick giggle, then try something different. Of course, thrust works just as well. But here's it's just a very quick flick. The nice thing about it is you can lean and step. Okay, done a few of them. Right. Other things you can do. Obviously, if the sword coming that way, I can fire a sword this way. This is nice. I'm covering here. The sword's blocking a cross shot. That's a nice target. It's level with the top of his shield. So this cross shot is lovely. The hilt needs to be up. This wants to be parallel, so no matter how high up it is, you're hitting that higher one. Or you can do a leg shot. If he's going to fire at the top, you can fire at the bottom. Right. That probably won't do anything because there's a shield here. We've done it before. You have the J shot. That basically comes to here, turns over, up. That's a few ideas on starting shots you can do. I suppose what we really ought to do is a quick session on hitting people with this white side of the blade, the false edge. And I'm deliberately not going to call them wraps because it gets a little confusing. If I say wrap, what I'm talking about is hitting someone on the back of the head, the back of the body, the back of the leg. I don't have to do that. Now, why on earth would I want to do this? If I stand next to Fred, and Fred blocks my sword with a forehand shot, if I just turn it over by raising my elbow into a backhand shot, it hits. That's the reason. And again, it's hitting with this front bit of the sword. Again, this is part of the reason why I'm not using a thrusting tip. Because I'm using not just a lower percussion point, I'm using a very upper percussion point, and we can have another one maybe later. So I will quite happily, if your sword comes somewhere down here, go to you. That's hitting about on the first X of this sword. And yeah, I'm getting enough power into that. So this is what I would call either a sum leader, false edge shot, and I can do it with the leg too. So try a few of those. Just taking a normal shot, turn it into a backhand, do it. Shoulder shot, turn it into a backhand, do it. Leg shot, turn it into a backhand, do it. You're not trying to hit the back of the helmet, you're hitting the side of the helmet, you're hitting the side of the body, you're hitting straight onto the leg armour. You can do shots like this on the other side. That's probably worth doing on another occasion. Okay, people happy? People happy? Right, what I would call a rack shot. The difference is I'm doing these a bit closer. Now, if I'm doing a body wrap, I'm going to do it closer. The reason being, there's a sword here, there's an arm here. If I do this shot, I'm really, really vulnerable to having my arm taken out. If I do it closer, there's a shield getting in the way here, there's a shield getting in the way here. I do it, now I'm hitting on the normal percussion point, and I'm wrapping. Quite often taking a step out to the side with the sword leg. And you can do the same to the helmet, and you can do the same to the leg. And this, of course, is where you can get into these very extended positions you were doing the stretch for earlier. So have a go at those. Compare them with I do this one, I do a top edge one, I get a bit closer, and I smack the back of the helmet. Again, it's just turning the elbow over. Check you don't have an elbow that's locked. All these shots, there should be a looseness. Just a little bit, not a lot. It just stops you. Look, I'm 65, I ain't got tennis elbow. I've been doing this since about the age of 25. Yeah, it works. Do not lock your elbow. Right. So, hopefully that has explained the subtle difference in wraps. So, how are we doing? We got last 15 minutes. Okay, so we talked about the basic difference in offence and defence, and we're now going to talk about you fighting left-handed. Why are you fighting left-handed? Very simple. Whack, just take your sword arm out. So now you're left-handed. The big difference is you ain't got this hand. Now, fighting wrong-handed probably deserves an entire session on its own. So this is the last 15 minutes or so, and some very basic tactics. Now, my opponent has got a big advantage. It's this. I ain't got one of them. So as with a greatsword or anything else, I've now got one device to both parry with and attack you with. Key. Offence, defence, defence. Now, out of the two things, that is what I've got to worry about. I need to be able to control that in some fashion. This I'm not so worried about. All this is doing is stopping me hitting him. This pokey, swordy thing coming out the side, that is losing me the fight. So anything I do was going to require me either to do something at long range, that still works, if he's not expecting it, and of course, thrust. That's fine. But that's still this thing. If we get anywhere closer, and I fire, say, a leg shot, I'm dead. This thing is going to come flying out, smack me straight on the head. So this idea, you know, I've got a sword, I want to vigorously attack him, doesn't work because he's got this to stop it. It's a great idea, but no. So what happens is either he will fire a shot, I will knock it to side, and I'm going to counter shoot, or I'll fire a shot, he'll block it. I've now got control of his sword. Great, push it up, smack. And that's the theory. He's doing the same. He wants to make sure this is out of the way, and he's probably going to use that to do it. You want to try to concentrate on controlling that, avoid that. So try a couple of little shots. I knock it aside, and bring it back in. I block it here, I return. He doesn't stop here. I rack him. And always you're coming back up into this position. Probably, I was standing on the wrong leg there. Probably better to have your right leg forward because it's getting more difficult to hit, but it doesn't matter. Keep moving. What happens if he closes? Wangy, wangy, wangy. Well, run away, run round. If he gets close, he's won. He's got this. He's got that. He got this. Okay. What happens if he runs away? Then someone's got to win the fight. He's got to come back sometime. Or if he keeps retreating, just keep doing these sort of shots at it. And the other thing, of course, if he keeps retreating and then sort of throws odd shots at you, take your sword arm out. Last hint, whatever you do, don't leg him. Bang! He kneels down. He's now even better able to hide behind this. You really, really haven't got an advantage. Okay, you've legged him. Well done. You had to do something, you kept running away. What you've got to do now is realise that facing him as you normally do, slap down the middle, is stupid. But he's got a shield and you haven't. What can you do? Well, very simple. Step, step. Hey, look. I've got his shield too. It's in the way. Woo! And of course, if you do this sort of step, step, and he twists around, oh great! Provided you know where that is, block it, whack it. Okay, that's my 30-second guide to something I'm not that good at. Hopefully that made sense. Okay, we have a few minutes left. So, what I think we ought to do is the drill we did a little while ago, the attack defense drill. Imagine you are fighting an opponent of the wrong hand. You're fighting, you evil right-handed people, one of us glorious sinister persons. What I want you to do is do whatever combination you like, your favourite hell combination, and as you do it, just think, I step in and I fire my shot. Oh look, there's my leg about to go. Which is why you want that little marker on your pelt or that little shoe, something I mentioned earlier, just to bear in mind when you're doing this exercise. But there is a sword here. It ain't where it's normally. You've got to remember that. The sword is coming from this side. Stepping here, unless you're doing something to cover it, gets you killed. I like doing this really big shot here. Ha ha! Sword, ribs, ouch. So, have a go. Your favourite 3-shot combinations, or 4-shot combinations. It's late in the evening, give yourself a blast. But every time you take a step, think about that sword coming from the wrong side. Think about how you can improve it. And then do it again with the improvements. And don't forget to throw a few of those nice little sort of pulse edge shots in. They're really good against people like me. Okay, everyone, I'll just do a brief recap at the end, hopefully some memory. So, step 1, actually notice I'm left-handed. Step 2, change your guard. Do something to get your shield over to your sword side. Step 3, think about where your opening shot is going. If you fire it straight into my sword, well, it's a waste of time. Do something different. Step 4, consider your targets are different, my targets are different. We're both the same. Difference is, I'm more used to hitting you. So always think, you know, this arm is coming out at me. Well, I chop your arm. Look at this lovely big hole down the side. In goes the wrap. Normally, you've got your shield leg forward, you're worried about being hit on it. Actually, left-hander, you're more worried about having the sword leg forward and being hit on it. Beware of big expansive shots that open up this side. If you want to go around this side, fine. Be aware though, of course, you've doubled up shields. This works really nicely if you want to be a close-up fighter.